Yo, what's up guys? In this video we're going to talk about why sick people are selfish people, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, if you know somebody who's chronically sick, who they've always got something wrong with them, and obviously, you know, this could even extend to people who have just problems in life in general, where everything always just happens to them. Like, it's never their fault, it's always somebody else who screwed them over or who like betrayed them or something like that. They're also terrible people who are selfish and only care about themselves. But this video, we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about it from like a health and fitness perspective and people who have something physically wrong with them, okay? There's exceptions, obviously, but we'll go over that in a second. So if you want to see that, stick around. Okay, so before we get into that, if you guys enjoy videos that like maybe are a little bit non-mainstream, cause you to think slightly outside the box, then subscribe to my channel. I try to put out videos as often as I can. I'm currently traveling around Asia, so you get to see the inside of like many gyms in Asia, I guess, if you care about that. Also, subscribe to my digital marketing channel where I talk about online marketing, making money online, and all that crap, in case you're interested in that. Okay? So, what am I saying, all right? Sick people, I'm not saying they're bad people, right? If you want to say that like selfish people only care about themselves are bad people, you know, you could make that argument, but they are selfish, right? Now, let's take a couple examples to kind of illustrate my point. If you've ever been sick, right? And everybody's been sick. What happens? You go to work, and not all the time, right? You go to work and you're like, ugh, I'm so sick. Oh, I feel like shit, you know, like, oh, I feel awful, I'm so sick. I was up all night, whatever, with diarrhea, or like, I've been coughing up green shit the whole time. I'm not exempt from this, I've done this, everybody's done this, but what happens when you're doing that, right? Is this just like a totally innocent exchange of information? No, it's not. You're basically saying, me, I have this problem, give me attention, give me pity, and that's it, right? Now, if we magnify this by taking somebody who has an illness, right, they're doing the exact same thing. Now, a cold you'll get over, right? But something more serious, like being diagnosed with diabetes or anxiety or cancer or whatever, the more severe the illness, the more attention the person is going to demand most of the time, right? If they're chronically sick. Some people, one day they just get sick with something horrible and they don't have any perceived health problems in the past, although they probably had signs leading up to it. Maybe they just didn't use that as a way to get attention from themselves. But people who are like that, they generally don't. But chronically sick people, oh my God, they milk that shit for all it's worth. Now, I know it's kind of disrespectful to say not nice things about people who are sick, people who have chronic health issues. It could be seen as insensitive, but I think it's important to take a critical look at what these people are really doing, and then determine if you want to encourage this type of behavior by giving them what they want, the payoff, which is attention. Okay? So, to take an extreme example, I had an aunt, she's dead now, but I had an aunt who this was like her like to a T, right? Like literally you could not have a conversation with this person without her complaining about some health issue that she had. Okay, now she had arthritis. I think she was diabetic. You know, she had gotten hepatitis when she was younger. And like literally like every single conversation was about, oh, I'm in pain, oh, I have this problem, oh, I went to the doctor, and he said this about me, he diagnosed me with that. And like she was my family, you know, obviously you're gonna care about people in your family, it hurts you to kind of see them like that. But once you kind of desensitize yourself to the constant complaining, you see it for what it really is, which is attention-seeking behavior. And it's not done in a healthy way. And essentially, like, I say these people are selfish, but what you should really just pity them and feel bad for them. I'm not saying to express that in the form of sympathy, but you should really just feel bad for them, because this is essentially the only way that they have found to connect with another human being or I guess an effective way for them to connect with a human being that they don't want to give up because of its effectiveness, and it's worth it to them, the low-grade suffering of constant physical ailments in order to get that. Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. I know it's a lot of big words that I used there, even for me. So a couple of years ago, my parents moved to a retirement community out in California called La Quinta. And this community it's a retirement community, so you have a lot of old people. Old people, boomers and beyond, generally have more health issues than like my generation or people younger than me. One is because, the resiliency of youth, and two, because that generation is not like as into physical fitness. There's no like fitness culture in that world for the most part, right? Obviously there's all the people who work out and blah, 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 but like my generation, we grew up with the Terminator, we grew up with Stallone, we grew up with like Van Damme, all these like ripped dudes who could like kick ass and were strong, and we kind of idolized them, right? So we grow up and we want to model those behaviors. But for older people, they don't have that. They don't they have this idea, and also they don't really use the internet, so or as much. So how much research are they really doing into how to cure their own health problems? They don't. What do? They go to the doctor. They say, "Doctor, I have this problem. What's wrong with me?" The doctor says, "Oh, well, according to my tests, because I don't want to actually get sued, you have blah, 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 fancy sounding disease, which means that you, have this problem, that problem, and the treatment for that are these pills, normally pills, right? Or this surgery or something, right? So what has modern medicine turned into for these people is essentially going and getting your fortune told, right? Or going and getting your horoscope read, saying well, let me consult my crystal ball. You have the genetic disease of ooga boogaism, they don't take a critical look at their own health and prefer to get that information from a so-called expert so that they can then relay that information to the people in their lives and say see, look, it's not my fault that I am, have no muscle mass. It's not my fault that I fell and broke my hip. It's not my fault that I have cancer. The doctor said that I'm genetically predisposed to blah, blah, blah. I don't have to actually change my diet and join a gym or go to the gym because I have a genetic disease, because I've been diagnosed with blah, blah, blah. And according to the doctor, it's a change in chemicals that goes on in your brain, and there's nothing you can do about it. My phone keeps crashing. But anyway, the point is that these people who have a chronic illness, they're using it as a way to get attention from other people. And I know that's a very insensitive thing to say. I know some people are like, oh my God, how could you say that? This person has a legitimate disease. But if they're not actively trying to fix it on their own, taking it into their own hands, then can you really take them seriously? So for some people, it's just more gratifying for them to complain about the issue than it is to actually do something about it. And again, like I said in the beginning of this video, you can say that about any area of your life. I happen to know some people who just love complaining about how they were done wrong by some person in their past, how their ex-boyfriend cheated on them, and the other ex-boyfriend they had also cheated on them, and this person in their life abandoned them, and this person betrayed them, and it's I wonder if it's actually true that all of these people just betrayed you and screwed you over, or maybe, just maybe, it's you who actually did something wrong and are cherry picking your examples so that you come out morally superior. I don't know, maybe, just saying, it's possible. But getting back to the health issue, you see this most often with cancer, right? Cancer has turned into this massive industry, right? And I'll make another video about this, but let's just say, chemotherapy, radiation costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, doesn't work, and kills people faster than the disease, cancer, will kill people. So why do people still do it? Why do people still subject themselves to the awfulness of cancer treatment? They say it's a cure that shames the disease, right? It's so, people think that your hair falls out and your teeth fall out and all this terrible shit happens to you because of cancer. No, that is from the treatment for cancer. That is from radiation therapy and chemotherapy that makes your hair fall out and your teeth fall out and screws you over like for your life, you know? But when you can go on your social media and say, today I was diagnosed with cancer, what happens? Oh my God, people come out of the woodwork saying, oh, it's okay, sweetie. Don't worry, you have cancer, it's all right. There. Let's make things comfortable for you because you made a lot of bad choices about your health. But we're not gonna focus on that. We're just gonna treat you like a hero. That's right, people are heroes for having cancer. Like, what? You're a hero because you let yourself go and made bad choices? No, like, it sounds bad, it sounds insensitive, but if we shamed people for having cancer, do you think people would still get cancer? No, they'd be like, holy shit, I do not want to be publicly embarrassed for having cancer. What do I have to do to avoid that? Like, again, it sounds counterintuitive, it sounds a little insensitive, but you're glorifying these people for, again, making poor choices when it comes to their health, whether it's smoking cigarettes or, and again, there's obviously people who like, they got cancer because they worked in a chemical plant for 20 years or something and breathed in asbestos or whatever. But even then, I question, were these people like actually taking care of their health during that time? Or were they coming home and pounding a 6-pack of beers and going to McDonald's and, you know, doing other things that in the modern world make it very easy for you to kind of lose track of what it means to be healthy? Because nobody's healthy, everybody's sick, everybody's got some problem. And if you're, these days, if you're healthy, it's like an anomaly. Oh, it's like, ooh, you're just lucky because of your genetics. Or, oh, you just have lots of free time to like, or extra money. You have extra money to eat healthy. Come on, fasting is free. On the days that I don't fast, I see the cash build up in my pocket because I'm not spending any money on anything, you know? But again, it's those hard choices that people have to make that are, just don't want to make those hard choices. All right, so my phone keeps crashing on me, so I'm gonna cut this one short. If you guys have any questions, comments about something that I said in this video, you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video and you wanna see more like this, subscribe to my channel. And if you wanna watch videos about digital marketing and making money online, go subscribe to my digital marketing channel as well. Cool? Peace.